I wonder what this is we've got to review today. We have a laundry combo. This is Dreft. A lot of you American viewers may recognise this. Let's find out how this stuff works in a vintage washing machine with some very grubby towels. And you're watching FlorenceBallardA3060 on film. Right, so Dreft is a very well-known American brand. However, if you pop into a Waitrose and Partners store, supermarket, I don't know about any little Waitrose having this, but I definitely know the larger stores have it, you will find this in the laundry section. On the right we have Dreft Morning Freshness, 24 washes, liquid detergent. That's got a little measuring gauge there, consisting of 1.32 litres. It is made in EU, however, so it's like an EU division of it. On the left is the fabric conditioner to go with this. Dreft Ultimate Care Intense Dark. They also do one for sensitive skin, but I have decided to go for something a little different because I always review sensitive products. I can't really describe the smell, but it's very, very unique smell. This one is 40 washes, so it's most like an old ultra concentrated because it is for colour as well, both for colour protection, why we're using coloured towels. And you get 1 litre in that one. So, as a lot of people on my last video of the Miele, when I did the review of Fairy, did say they were happy to see the 9530, this machine here to do a review. Now, for those who have just tuned into this channel and are not aware of the fact I'm an appliance collector, this washing machine is far from new. It is from April 1986, so it's just a little over 35 years old. However, very few households around the UK do still have these machines in service. Some of these are from the 90s, so they are running a little bit later. Hotpoint are a very well recognised UK brand. So this machine operates totally differently to the one on the left, which is a Miele. This Miele is cold fill only. This one runs off the hot tap as well. So with this not going on a 60-degree cycle, I would normally do towels on a boil wash, but these towels have been intentionally made grubby, so they technically are clean underneath. We've got some very hard stains on here to test, so I really am pushing Dreft to its maximum capabilities in this machine, because we're not just dealing with a machine that will use hot water straight away. We are dealing with a machine that was known to cause quite a lot of suds when operating. We have got a machine that will do 4 rinses, fast, slightly slower spins, but it will be very interesting to see how this works in here with the suds level and the rinsing. Because the machine uses a lot more water, we can actually see the level of suds, but also this machine is not permanently plumbed in, so I will actually be able to show you the water coming out of the drain hose. I'm very excited to do this, and I hope this helps you. I will say, if you are a fan of new detergents, definitely go and try something new at Waitrose, even though that's not their slogan. But I'm going to get loading the machine. I'm going to tell you about what stains we have got on here and what this is going to be up against. Right, so let's have a look at some of the stains we've got here. On this grey towel, we have got soy sauce and Worcester sauce. These microfiber cloths and dish rags have got general dirt, grime, and also just general dust as well. Some of it's been used to polish furniture as well, and clean windowsills with, so you've got outdoor dirt. That's grey. I don't know if that one can be restored. This has got outdoor grime from a brick wall and our windowsill, so think about the outside air, pollution and everything. I will need to put in a colour run sheet with that. This one has had, you can't really see it, in the middle there, it's vegetable oil. I can smell that, however, though, so I know what that smells like. This has got dust from doors and the hinges, so it'll have a bit of grease in there too. This is my favourite one. No, it's nothing dirty. That's golden syrup, which has kind of solidified almost. That'd be good if we could break that down. This bath sheet. What is that? That's balsamic vinegar, that is. That's balsamic vinegar in there. So, now, as I said to you, I'd normally do my towels on 85 or 95, but we're not going to do that because that's cheating. I am, however, though, my only addition I'm going to use is a colouring sheet because there's red and white in there, and those red towels do tend to bleed. That goes under there. I am going to do a review of those as well at some point. You can either choose to use a dosing ball to put your detergent in the drum of the machine. However, this machine has got a dedicated liquid compartment. Not all machines do have that. So this is Hotpoint's style. Now, when we're talking about vintage, this was back in the day when you had to use a lot more powder and detergent. This is the main wash chamber, which is massive. If you filled all that up with today's detergent, you would be overdosing the machine severely. So even with liquid, you don't even need to use anywhere as much as that. Now, it does have the measurements on the bottle. You again have to go by your load size and your hard water, your water hardness and your level of soiling. So this is a heavily soiled test, but we're not going to do a pre-wash because that again to me is cheating. I'd rather just test it all in one. It's not too heavily soiled. The capacity of my machine, this Hotpoint, is 4.1 kilogram. It's a lot smaller, probably it's about 4 times smaller nearly than a lot of machines on today's market, about half that. Most are 8 or 9. But the load in there is roughly about 2.5 to 3 kilogram. So that isn't on here because this is now going by 4 to 5 kilogram is the lowest. This is going by today's standards. So 55 milliliter for a 4 to 5 kilogram load. So we're going to roughly do about 40 milliliters for this. Now it tells you in the cup where it goes, so I have to do it just below. But because it's not marked on there, I'm going to use a dosing ball for this to measure it out in. See, this is what happens when you go to using older technology. So we're going to measure out. So there's 50, and I'm going to do it just below that. You can roughly use about that much. I'm going to pour it into the cap first. So that's 1 full cap. Yeah, just below. Okay. And that's going to go straight in here. See, it barely even fills it. But there are measurements in here, of course, but they only start at 100 milliliters. So at the top, you've got 200 milliliters. That's crazy. You have to use. That's how much you would use back in the day, probably. As for the conditioner, it's a very small cap. Literally that small. There might be people here who are familiar with these machines. They were known as the Hotpoint 95 series because their model numbers all start with 95. Apart from the washer dryers, which are 99 series, and the exclusives being 97. But they all work the same, basically. Right, so you can either do... On the measuring guide, you have got 25 milliliters for basic, 30 milliliters for standard, 40 milliliters for extra, and again for hand wash. We're going to do 30 ml, which is measured at 1 full cap. So we've done 1 full cap of detergent and 1 full cap of the conditioner. This has a tiny chamber for the conditioner, so it is good that we at the same time have to use that. You have to be careful, it's a very fragile. So old timer control, we're going to be using program 2, which is a 60 degrees Celsius cotton cycle, Colourfast Cotton. These are the old ITCL codes, which is why they're numbered 3, 4, 6 and 1, 2, 5 and 7. So program 2, mechanical timer, I'm not selecting any other options. I'm just going to start. And this is filling directly with hot water from the mains. Let's see how this performs. So we're going to start tumbling now. We're going to just see how the suds start building up. Old school technology, but it works just... Sometimes I think this machine works a lot better than most modern machines do. Well, I can vouch for that because of the machine I previously owned, an LG before this, well, had. It's a very loud motor to it, but a very vigorous wash action that's got. So I can see the syrup on there. I might not let that do a full water level because we're getting actually good tumble. Just let it get to the bottom of the door. I can control it by pressing half load. I can already tell the colour of that water has gone grey. Oh wait, no, I've got to let this machine do full level on everything because it's letting a vintage machine work. Oh, God, look at the colour of that water. That squeaking noise is the dry belt. This machine is 35 years old, so... That is horrible. Right, so first thing to note is there's not any suds there. Because like I said, hot water does denature the detergent. So the machine's heating to 60, and I'm just going to show you obviously the temp gun. So that water there is, we're approaching 60 really. Kind of like that water is. Kind of like that water is, you know, quite grim. The other thing this machine does. These do heat retaining stages, so once the machine temperature reaches 60, we move on again, and then when we hit the heating stage of other cycles, like program 5, we will then heat back up to 60. So we might get, you know, obviously the machine actually spends longer at the temperature than a lot of other machines do. Here we go. This is the state of the water that's going to come out of the machine. Oh my God, that is disgusting, that is. It's like a brown. That is horrible, that is. That's just mank. But that shows you how well that is doing. That shows it's gotten rid of all that. Oh, nasty. So this distributes, and then we'll capture some of the spins then afterwards so you can see how that goes. Oh God. Yes, respect with a vintage washing machine, you will get a lot of moving about. But there's actually not a lot of suds in that. So this is the second of 4 rinses. Already there's not really many suds in there. Considering we, on these machines, don't do a spin after the main wash, that's quite impressive. I think it's to do with the very forceful spinning of these, albeit quite violent sometimes. No, then we do a spin, and then there's we'll check on the next rinse how the performance goes with that. I think we may probably have a winner with the rinsing on this. Smooth on that one. Let's check how much. Not many suds coming up on that one. that in the... There you go. Coming out there. Not very sudsy really, to be honest. And it's pretty much only after 2 rinses. This is the 3rd rinse performance now. So, I mean, of course, there's still a little suds there, but for a 3rd rinse, that's actually quite acceptable. Of course, like I said in all my detergent review videos, it will depend on your water hardness as well. So it's very hard over here in London, but where you are living may be very different. Not very salty though. Just a little bit of suds coming out, but that's good. That'll be the very last of it now. Of course, the rinsing also depends on the speed and duration that your machine spins at. This just does 500 RPM for about 15 seconds. It's enough to just kick the bulk out, pump it out and do another spin, and that's it. This is the final rinse now, where we have introduced the Dreft Ultimate Care Intense Dark. So your normal conditioner bubbles that you get, with a bit of leftover detergent residue. So there you go. I think in all in all, we've done a pretty good job really. But you can only say from what we're seeing, after the final spin we're also going to check the cleaning performance and the fragrance test too. And here's the final rinse water. A lot more clearer. And we've got a smooth final spin too. Yeah, a lot more clearer now. Get to soften the residue coming down there. Of course, a bit of suds from the softener and a bit left over detergent, but that's it. This is what we call the famous Hotpoint spin. Amazing. Catch at the end. Come to the end now. But everything will be stuck to the side. Knew it. Always happens with towels on this. Right. The first fragrance set before we go into the dryer. So of course stuck to the side. Everything's come out quite dry. Get everything out first and then we'll do the stain test as well. Ooh. That tries to pull that through the hole. Just felt that there. Right. Well, I can smell from the machine, for one, I can smell it in there. We've probably left some leftover water in the conditioner compartment, always do this. Let's do a fragrance test. Oh, that is amazing. That is... wow. That's probably the best smelling liquid detergent I've used. Right, so... this was the golden syrup one, wasn't it? Gone. It's had general cleaning dirt on it. Gone. Actually no, I load it into the spin dryer. So I'll put it in a spin dryer before it goes into the actual dryer, because obviously this doesn't do the fastest spin in the world, only 1,000 RPM. This was the outdoor one, I believe, or the vegetable oil. No trace of that. this one. No trace of that at all. What was this? This was dust around the house, wasn't it? From the doors. Obliterated. This one's always been grey, but the general dirt on it has come off. Let's get the camera a little closer, shall we? This had more grime on it, general cleaning grime. I'm not also putting it back in there. More grime. Gone. What did this have on it again? This had sauce, wasn't it? Soy sauce or something. Completely gone. Bearing in mind, I let some of it settle in. It's picked off a lot of the dirt in that has. Obviously, I don't ever expect these to be fully clean because they are just constantly used for dirt, but there's a lot less dirt than there was originally on this. Some of it's permanent stuff. That was more general household cleaning dirt. See how this one's turned out. That's got a lot more cleaner. Again, general grime. I think the grey one in there is the major one. Tiny bit there. This had, was it vinegar on it? I can't remember. It had vinegar and sauce, or was it soy sauce? Either way, whatever was on there, it's gone. So, that's the cleaning test sorted. We know this thing can clean very well, 60 degree temperature. But will the fragrance still remain from this and the softness after a long high heat dry? Let's find out in about 40 minutes. Just got done with the load in the dryer. See how we did. Still warm, I suppose that's been sat in there. Very warm and soft, got to say that for one. It's very nice having warm towels. Now to do a second fragrance test. This is the final test to see if it withstands the dryer. Perfect. That still has the fragrance on there, even after coming out of the dryer. Wonderful. Right, let's do a conclusion and a summary on this. Final conclusion. What do we give Dreft Ultimate Care laundry product result for? Well, I'm going to start with the pros and any cons. Pros. Amazing smell. For one. Out of all the liquid detergents I've used, including the previous ones we've used, I have to say it's the most pleasant fragrance. That's for the detergent and the conditioner combined. They don't cancel each other out, it's a perfect balance, as long as you follow the dosage. It's very economical to use, so for example you don't have to use so much liquid and neither do you have to use so much conditioner. They've really done the measurements out well and the dosage too. Easy to store and it's not very expensive either. Can't remember how much I paid for it, but I will link it in the description when you go onto the Waitrose and Partners site. As far as I'm aware, I'm only aware of Waitrose selling this, but then certainly will be other places selling this. I actually can't really think of any cons for this. Because of course the other thing as well, it rinsed out very well. Considering we did a load of towels, that's why I always test it with that. In fact, as we speak, I've already got another load on in the Hotpoint with my work clothes. Because it's that good, it's got a very nice fragrance to it. Be interested to see how long it lasts. So, if you're, whether you're into detergents like I am, or you just want to try something new, and you're into liquid, try these. Dreft Ultimate Care. They also do a sensitive range as well alongside this at Waitrose. I decided to go for something a little different. These are good for colour clothes. So you can also get one for, I think don't know if the sensitive one covers whites, but I'm going to believe this is, it just says laundry detergent, so it doesn't say whether it's non-biological or biological, but I know that the fabric conditioner is definitely concentrated because it's a lot smaller dosage. So, link them in the description for you, and yes, and then in my upcoming videos we certainly will be using this a lot more now that this Hotpoint 9530 has got a liquid dosing compartment. And if you enjoyed seeing this wonderful machine in the review, then head on to my channel. I have a playlist dedicated to videos exclusively of this machine. If you're new to the channel, just look for the playlist, my April 1986 Hotpoint 9530 Electronic 1000 Plus. Absolute corker of a machine, very entertaining, but I think the machine did very well for a review. Be interesting to see if the Miele on the left has the same results in this. But this is from a time when washing machines were made a lot more simpler. Anyway, it's not about the machine, it's about the detergent, so without further ado, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow.